Hi everyone, and welcome to the podcast. My name is Veronika Imasheva, and I'm creative director at Wedding School. I'm beyond excited because my today's guest is Diana Vartanova. She's ranked top wedding photographers in Europe, and her works are being published in Harper's Bazaar, in Brides, and in British Vogue. Today, we will deep dive into the world of luxury wedding photography. We'll understand what works and what no longer relevant. Thank you so much, Diana, for coming here. And let's start today's podcast.
Thank you so much, Veronika. And welcome, guys. I'm very, very excited to be here. It's such an opportunity, and I'm glad we have this time to talk.
Let's start with a bit of introduction. Diana, you've built a phenomenal career.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to learn more about it. Can you tell me really briefly who you are, what mission you're on, and what you bring to this world of wedding photography as a photographer and a mentor?
All right. My name is Diana Vartanova. As you might know, I'm the owner of Still Miracle and also a mentor at Wedding School. And I'm very proud to say that. I was born in Ukraine, in Zaporizhia, a wonderful city in the southeast of Ukraine. And my biggest dream was to develop, to become someone I will be proud of being. And that's why my first choice of my BA education was going to England, to London. And this is how I moved to the UK. And being honest, it wasn't an easy road. It was quite bumpy. Sometimes I didn't have enough money. Sometimes I needed to work in the canteen of the university. So there were lots of things. If you asked me what I studied journalism because I actually wanted to be a TV presenter. And I thought that I look really great, sitting and talking in front of the microphone. But then I took a photojournalism course within my degree and started to do street photography. During those times, it was 2013, 2014. In Ukraine, we had a revolution, Maidan, if you've heard of it. And then the war with Russia started. So I felt my duty as a journalist and as a photographer to do the street photography of the protest, to cover some military things. I also went to Ukraine to do the coverage of wounded soldiers in the hospital. And I don't know, it felt a bit overwhelming, difficult emotionally because, it wasn't the background I really wanted to spend my life in. Of course, it stays in my life as charity and voluntary projects, but during those times, I became very active in the Ukrainian community in London, and I was invited to many photo shoots, family photo shoots or newborns or weddings. And this is how I was slowly dragged, this river of life took me into wedding photography. And my first wedding, it was a disaster, guys. I don't know what was your experience, but mine was like a complete disaster. A bride was crying for the whole day. They burnt her veil when they were ironing it. You can imagine, right?
Oh my God.
It's your first wedding, and you come and you try to really survive through this. She was arguing with the groom, so I literally was counting my minutes to the end of the day. And then in the end of the day, the funniest moment of my career was when she came. She thanked me so much. She said, "You made our day so wonderful." And she asked, "Diana, can you actually Photoshop my face so I'm smiling in the pictures?" And then I promised myself never again in wedding photography. But at the same time, this kind of challenge actually... I don't know, it's like a drug. When you start doing wedding photography, all out there, you guys, you might really, I think you feel me. You just can't do anything else. It's so attractive and so challenging and beautiful at the same time.
That's such a personal story. And for some people, that would be the end of their career, but you decided that's actually it. Later on, you moved to the luxury segment. Can you tell me what drew you to this specific niche and how did you make this entry?
Of course, there are two ways of looking at this. First is, I think it's my personality, and being honest, I'm never quite satisfied with what I'm doing. And I always compare myself with someone else out there with a better results, better pictures, shooting in better locations. Being honest, even now, I try to fight it, but it's something subconscious. And when I was invited to those mostly like Ukrainian expats weddings, they were usually like being done somewhere in the outskirts of London, like not the nicest places, not the best dresses. And then I obviously saw lots of magazine pictures, lots of, I don't know, like cinematic like photo shoots. And I actually wanted to own the pictures like those, but I wanted to create them, you know? And this is how I understood that I won't be satisfied staying at the same level. And I slowly started to step by step go in the direction of which I thought is the right one. I took the wrong path so many times. I wasted lots of opportunities and time because sometimes I wasn't confident enough, or I didn't know what to do, or there are lots of things when, as a creative, as an artist, you feel, you're just literally feel lost. And when you're looking back at yourself making those steps, sometimes I don't believe I actually made it to this point. And being honest, that's why I created my course from pro to top wedding photographer, because for you guys, I really want to make this path as smooth as possible and as short as possible.
What was the game changer for you? What was this thing, this key action that unlocked the luxury segment for you?
I think it's difficult to choose only one, but there are like the steps when you jump to a certain point, you know that there is no way back and you're already on the next level. I think first it was the understanding that I don't want to work in the same places I was already like working in. For example, if I was invited to a wedding in one, I don't know, castle in the UK, I didn't just invest everything just to come back there. I was trying to expand myself to other opportunities. Actually, I was investing in my offline presence, in online presence. I was taking parts in the wedding fairs, meeting through different opportunities, wedding planners or other vendors, trying to spread the word about myself. So it's difficult to choose like one particular event, but I don't know. Probably it's changing my colors on Instagram. I think that was the break point. It was in somewhere in 2020 when the COVID outbreak. I just decided that if I don't change my color palette right now of my Instagram grid, you guys can scroll through my Instagram to 2019 and you'll see it's a different color. And then like during COVID, I thought I have time and I need to invest it in myself, and I studied. But I don't know, it's just one of the steps. Like we can talk about each of them, but it would take hours.
It was just a stepping stone to move to a more elevated positioning, which you saw that it started to work, that it started to bring in the results.
Yes, and I think deep down, all of us, we know how much this kind of work does cost in the world of wedding photography, like business-wise. For example, I can look at the profile of one of the photographers, I don't know, like any photographer, and say that this one would work in the range from 1,500 to 2,000, for example, or this one is definitely above 10,000 per day for one wedding photo shoot. So it's even if you make one step away from yourself and just try to be objective, you can assess your work.
Sure. Let's come back to the industry and talk about the industry in general. There is a lot of talk that people are getting married less, and the demand for wedding photography is shrinking and eventually will die. And I want to know what's your take on this. What is your approach?
I agree and disagree with that. So we've seen like wedding industry like going for like a long sleep during the COVID, and then on a personal level, I understand it very much because my own wedding was postponed. We planned to do it in 2022, but then because of the war in Ukraine, we started like to postpone everything that wasn't essential for us during these times. So yes, I understand that we live in turbulent times, but at the same time, I think people start to value their moments and their time with each other much more. And it means that if they decide to get married, they go really bold on it. They choose the vendors they want to work with. I think they start to less compromise on the quality over the quantity or the price. I see the couples who choose the photographers who really inspire them on both professional and personal level. So I'd say if you guys are thinking of growing, like making a step towards becoming like this elite photographer, I don't know if it's even the right word, but if you want to go in this particular segment of weddings that you dream about, it's the right time to do it.
So what you're saying, I just summarize that it's true that demand is shrinking. It's true that less people are getting married, but instead the weddings are rising in prices.
Yes,
the wedding become more as a luxury event of the people's life,
yes.
And people tend to spend more. People tend to personalize their experiences.
Absolutely, right? Yeah. They personalize it on all the levels, and wedding photography is one of the key elements.
I see, and photography is like one of the biggest element of the wedding, right? Like if I would be organizing a wedding right now, I will spend a lot of money and a lot of time to invest in a wedding photographer, because I understand that these are the memories that I will have throughout my whole life. These are the memories that I will pass to the generations of my my grandsons, and I would really allocate a lot of time into choosing the right person. And my question with regards to that, how to become not one of the many, but the one photographer?
Good question. And one of the most difficult to answer, because it's a combination of factors, right? First of all, you have to be professional. By saying professional, we as photographers normally think we should know lots of techniques or be familiar with different types of lenses, or I don't know, like know how to use flash, and that's completely right. But at the same time, I think there is much more than that, and we're talking about soft skills. Because my personal journey was connected from to moving countries and to trying to understand people not through the language, but sometimes through on a deeper empathetic level. I think that most of us, we normally don't say what we feel, or we try to somehow hide it. And that's why I believe it's important to truly understand what your couple is seeking for. For example, if I see that the couple is eager to talk about their wedding, the journey before their wedding, on our first call, I let them talk through. I let them talk their hearts out. And I think that by sharing their stories, we become closer. Or sometimes they feel anxious because they had really bad experience with photography before, and they want me to talk. They want me to explain why they will be comfortable or relaxed. For example, I just had a call with a bride, and she said, "Look, we're so shy, and we don't want pictures at all, but at the same time your photography is beautiful, and I believe that all your brides, they are so like models, perfectly enjoying being in front of the camera." And I said, you don't have to be posing, you don't have to do anything you feel uncomfortable with. It's your wedding day. It's about how you want to spend your time with your husband to be and with your family, and there are no right or wrongs. So I literally explained to her how we will work on her wedding day, and she felt so excited and happy because she was heard, she was understood. And I think she, like the level of her anxiety before the wedding day and in front of the camera should be dramatically lower than it was beforehand.
That's true. That's true. And in terms of the experience, right, like people organize wedding as an event of their life. They bring in their families, they bring in their closest guests. People fly over to celebrate this moment with you. And most of the photographers, they don't understand how it is important to not just clap the camera, not just use the camera correctly, but to organize it in a beautiful, positive, enjoyable experience, make the bride feel like the queen, right? And that's one of the reasons also what separates them.
It's also one of the segments. I think we need to understand that wedding photography is not just one day, it's a client experience. And for example, my mission as a wedding photographer is to make this journey enjoyable from the moment they see it, like they first meet me on Instagram, for example, or they see my pictures in wedding blogs, and to the moment where they receive the gallery. And even if they say, Diana, we actually want this black and white picture to be colorful, that's okay, that's not a problem. So this is this like thin boundary of being an artist and positioning yourself as an artist who comes to a wedding day and to, like, in the lives of these people, to make their life more beautiful and portray this beauty. At the same time, we need not to forget that it's also about providing the experience that they will cherish and they will enjoy, and they would love to talk about it and share these emotions with their friends and girlfriends who will get married soon. So yes, it's about the journey, and I think the must do for a wedding photographer is seeking the perfection in each step of this client experience.
So basically what you're saying is to create this wow effect, this experience on every step. From I found you on Instagram, and I'm absolutely fascinated by the feed. I'm absolutely impressed by the quality of the pictures. When I sent you the message, I'm excited because that's exactly what I want to hear. I book a call. Everything is so clear to me. And it's the client journey that you say that you adopted it to the wedding industry, to your students as well, where you lead them to perfection, to deliver perfection on each step, right?
Absolutely, yes. Step by step, from the first message until they are happy and they post their pictures on their Instagrams.
That sounds like a perfect wedding experience, to be honest.
I hope so.
That's absolutely. And let's talk about the photographers that are stuck in a low segment weddings, in the low gigs. Could you tell me what is the main problem there?
There could be many, but I think one of the main reasons is the inner belief that imagine I'm stuck, yes? I am not the one who will achieve those photographers achieve. And it's a huge and deep misconception about oneself, because we're talking about talent and, most importantly, hard work. And it's never about just being talented and just, let's say, I don't know, do great pictures. That's never enough, guys. I'm sure if you already know how to use cameras, you have to market yourself, guys. You have to post regularly on Instagram. Shout out to your target audience, understand your target audience, and be consistent with everyday work that you do. And this is where most of the photographers got stuck, because they think that if they publish, I don't know, 3 nice posts on Instagram a month, somehow magically they will be found. But I'm sure, guys, you've noticed that the amount of bookings depend on the amount of your marketing and how should I say it, like on how much time you invest in actually promoting your beautiful works. And this is what makes a talented person become this valued artist who everyone wants to book.
Absolutely. From marketing side, I can also confirm that even the top brands are getting constantly marketed. I'll say it again. From the marketing side, I can also highlight that even the top industries, the top brands, they get marketed, they get promoted all the time. And you mentioned misconceptions. One of the biggest misconceptions on the market in general, on like each market in general, is that people think I'll have a website, people think I'll have a gallery, I'll just get my account created, and that's my marketing. Marketing is about action. Marketing is about doing and showing up, and it's about posting, it's about reaching out, and it's about making your business visible for the customers.
And also it's about understanding that it won't happen tomorrow. Like, for example, I started today. Come on, guys, from this point, it's 1 year of constant work, and then you'll start seeing the results. It's like losing weight.
Exactly.
One missed lunch won't make it. You have to constantly work on your brand, work on meeting the right people, work on showing the best sides of your business, of your brand.
However, it is also a snowball effect. It has a snowball effect. Like the more you do, the more you build this asset, the more value it has, the more visibility it has. If you continue doing the one thing, for example, posting weekly on Instagram, you will have a big audience next year. If you continue reaching out to the new vendor each week, you will have a large network, large reputation in a segment that you choose. So that's also what you're going to be teaching in the course, right?
Absolutely. And also one of the the things I've noticed in my career, that it starts to become easier. In the beginning, I don't know, like I imagine it as a huge stone that you start pushing, and when you start pushing, you make all the efforts and it's not moving, and you're making more efforts and it's not moving. But since it made the first like little rollover, it becomes easier, and then somehow probably it's this inertia that you've talked about, or it's also the power of your own energy, where you already know what's working and what's not. But somehow it becomes easier and easier with every step. And if you guys are feeling stuck, that's the most difficult point. And this is where you have to bring all the efforts in, invest in yourself, invest in your skills, invest in your portfolio, and like keep pushing in the right direction. And 1 year from now, you will see like dramatic results, and will be very proud of yourselves.
That's true. And let's talk about how to start pushing this stone as you described, right? What is the easiest way to start with? Because there's so many instruments out there. There's so much information out there. Where is the best place to start, and what are the key actions that drive the biggest results in terms of the wedding marketing for wedding industry?
I think each case is different. So, for example, in our course, we'll have one-to-one sessions, and if you guys are interested in that, we will work on your personal case. But I can talk about myself. So when I felt stuck, I realized that there are like key problems. First, the portfolio, which wasn't probably talking the right things to my target audience. So my key vector was to invest in my portfolio. So I started to work as a second shooter. I visited lots and lots of workshops just to create the content that I could be, I would be able to publish on Instagram constantly. The second element was that different elements of my brand, they were not connected between each other. For example, the website was done in one way, the Instagram looks in the other way. So my second point was to connect all these dots to make it look like one finished brand. And for example, guys, if we imagine your photography brand as a shop, you would want the people to see the window where everything is organized. That's kind of your Instagram. Then they enter, they meet with really nice workers there. This is your team. They have to be trained. They have to know what they're saying, how they greet the client. Then obviously they touch, let's say you're selling t-shirts, they touch the texture, they like it, they know it's made of really good quality fabric. So this is the same with wedding photography experience. Every part of this client entering your shop and leaving with a beautiful bag nicely wrapped, this is the experience. And I think we all want to be Prada or Chanel or Jacques Mou, and we don't want to be Primark, right?
Absolutely. The best way and the fastest way, right, is actually to go the path that already someone explored, that already someone took, or having a mentor, having an educator that can take you by the hand and bring to the results that you want, bring you to the market. And actually having the community also, it's a big part of the growth point, right? Let's go and explore this point, right?
Absolutely. And I know that together with Vedmi School, this is such an extremely amazing opportunity. You guys organize a community, and I'm proud to be a member of it. So as far as I know it's just growing up, guys, but we're offering 200 free spots. Am I right?
Absolutely.
For the first joiners. And also I think there will be lots of mentoring opportunities, like presets collections, right. Second shooting opportunities, like lots and lots of things that we as wedding photographers and me, like 2 years ago, would die for. So well done for doing that.
Absolutely. We understand the value of community and networking and having the possibility just to reach out to our educators like yourself, to our mentors, to the other more experienced colleagues, and ask for an advice, like while the question is burning, while you have a couple and you need to advise them, or you have a problem with marketing, and instead of going and wasting your time and money and continuing like this endless suffering, you can have a quick feedback. And that's why we're going to be organizing live streams with the industry leaders. We're going to have the networking events. We're going to have the lectures with exclusive materials, exclusive topics that are going to be described in every little detail, so you have an instruction 1, 2, 3 and repeat and get result. And together with that, as you mentioned, for some people, the growth point from switching from the low segment, from the low ticket wedding into the premium segment, is to probably becoming a second shooter, probably going for mentorship, probably getting like a referral or like a gig that someone else cannot take.
Or just to meet a planner you would probably never meet like in any other circumstances.
Absolutely, absolutely. And since we started to discuss community, let's continue the topic with the networking and referrals. The wedding, especially luxury wedding, is highly tight knit, right? So top professionals, they know each other. Can you elaborate that? Like, how does networking works?
I don't know how, but like wedding photography is actually like a small village, and everybody knows everyone. So yes, I want to pass my greetings to all the colleagues out there. I'm very, very excited to work by your side, guys. Yes, you literally, when the new game players appear, we met during workshops, we met when, for example, the couples say, we're choosing between you and you, all these things. And I think one of the most important things in the wedding community is the reputation. And your wedding reputation is like a soul. You only can sell it once. And yes, through the years of experience, I know that making connections with colleagues, other photographers, wedding planners, of course, floral decorators, caterers, DJs, makeup artists, it all makes a difference. And I wouldn't lie, guys. I have received numerous referrals from all the different types of vendors. And when I come to each wedding, my task is to photograph each part of it, not because I want to please the vendors, but of course it's an important part of the job as well. I want to see their wedding Instagrams to bloom with my pictures, and it makes me really proud. It means that I do all the aspects of my work perfectly. But I also want these pictures to be received by the couple, because for them it's also the parts of their wedding day. For example, my couples order oysters, and sometimes, like for example, my last wedding, she told me, Diana, have you seen the oysters? Because we haven't even tried them. They were busy with taking pictures, family, whatever. But luckily, I was running and I was passing by the oyster station. I was like, "Oh, oysters!" And I said, "Yes, I have the oyster picture." And she said, "Oh my God, I'm so excited," because the oysters, they appeared for a short time, part of them, and then they're gone. So yeah, I mean, it's important for them. As a photographer, we have this misconception that it's only the portraits of the bride and groom and probably their intimate family that they cherish. But no, they cherish everything. They book a car they want to see there, if it's a retro car, for example, or they choose this particular flowers. And it's a win-win for both you, the vendors, and also the couple when you concentrate on covering all the aspects of a wedding day.
This is such a valuable insight, and it's not that on the surface that many photographers don't get how important the wedding day and how important every little detail the couple put their time in organizing. And it's a beautiful story about oysters that they've not seen, but then they're like, "Hey, I've got it," and they will tell the story, and they will show the picture, and they'll say to their guests and to their friends, they show the pictures like, "Thanks God, Diana will took a picture." Yeah, that's beautiful.
And sometimes as photographers, still we can't get inside their minds. We're a little bit of an intruders, and we need to predict what might be extremely important for them. And for example, my friend, she's one of the top 5, for me she is a top 1 stationary artist, and she taught me how to do the flat lace, because I felt like 2 years ago I felt so uncomfortable with them. It was like an hour of frustration during a wedding day to put this envelopes on a flat surface and do something with them. I was scared. But she told me, Diana, it's important because it's a summary of their wedding day put in one picture. You have like a picture of a castle, their names, probably the names of the guests, probably a menu card where they have. So it's literally a roadmap of their wedding day put together in one picture, and you have to not just bring like nice little adds on, like styling kits, like a nice ribbon or a flower. Make it personal for them. Find the flower that might have been in her wedding bouquet, or her mother's pearls that she would want to put on her neck afterwards. So all the elements are important, and only understanding the couple deeply and expanding this palette of techniques, you really make it a full gallery for them without missing the important bits.
This is so valuable. This is such a comprehensive wrapped up insight that you're mentioning that comes back into building a relationship, and this is something that we've not yet discussed. And what you mentioned about vendors and planners, it's about creating a connection and relating and helping each other. And also your course is about like how to genuinely create meaningful connections that drive mutual referrals, that drive mutual self like help also in the industry. And the same with the clients. You mentioned it's like psychology. You go into the brain of your clients and you analyze what is important exactly for this couple, how exactly they want to remember this day. It's not about just like camera clips, right?
Right, absolutely.
So beautiful. There are a lot of people out there, they starting photography as a hobby. It's something they've discovered by accident, and then they secretly wanting to make this full-time business, full-time profession. But it sounds so overwhelming and it's so scary. What can you say to these people that want to make this transition?
There is this joke that I used to work 40 hours a week, and now I'm working 24/7. So this is our life. Especially I work with lots of guys from the US, like US wedding planners, US couples. They usually message me around 11 a.m., 12 a.m., p.m. Sorry, you understood me, guys. Like late in the night, and I still feel that it's my obligation to reply. So I try to be working 24/7, basically. Yes, but coming back to your question is, I also used to work in the office. I don't know if lots of my followers know that, but I used to work as a music expert in YouTube. Beautiful times in my life. But there was this moment where I felt either I now switch to full-time photography, or photography will never become my main work and my main achievement. I don't know how to call it, my main business, but I don't feel it as business, like my main craft. And it was super scary. It was like losing the ground, because you got used to earning every month like this particular amount and feeling confident that you will survive the next month. But especially since when I left, this feeling is gone, and you have to rely on yourself, rely on trust in yourself and the particular strategy that you developed, and hope for better. It worked out in my case, and I think it will work out for everyone who persistently and consistently will follow this strategy that once created. That's why I think it's important to invest in your education and in mentorship and in portfolio, especially beforehand, when you have this kind of like a safety net for yourself, to have a clear roadmap of what to do when you are out there in the water, like a little yacht in the ocean. So you have to know where to navigate to.
Yes, so let's break down what does the strategy mean, and what does the goal planning towards this desired result mean. In case of a young photographer and beginner photographer, or like a photographer that just wants to make wedding photographer the main business, and actually not just like a side hustle, but actually build a serious business, multiple six-figure business is possible in a luxury wedding photographer.
Absolutely.
So for this kind of people, what you mean as a strategist, I understand, is like each person has a set of created resources, whether you have like some sort of Instagram, whether you have like some money that you've saved and you can already invest in your education, in paid ads, in publishing your work, in another type of marketing or new gear, for example. So for each person, it's a particular strategy,
particular steps.
Exactly.
And usually they are very similar. But because we're just different people, we just take them differently, and that's perfect. Yes, it's about having the gear that you can trust. Sometimes switching a gear to like a better brand or a better quality camera is like a big step in your career. Then it's investing in your portfolio, and like visiting workshops is completely fine. I I never felt ashamed of saying that I visited workshops. And I urge you, if you guys go to workshops, don't hide it, just say it. We go to workshops, we learn from the best, we work with, we meet those vendors. It's super important for you because it's a safe place where you can learn new techniques of, for example, applying flash if you're only like a natural light shooter, or learning how to better communicate with models on the set, and then like practicing it with professional models you just adapt it to real couples in the real world. Then workshops, then obviously marketing, investing in your promo, like ads on Instagram, or even creating an editorials with like collectively with other vendors is also a big step up in your game, and it does cost a lot. So you have to accumulate a certain amount of funds that you can, and just strategically apply them into different parts of your growth.
So in your course, you mentioned that you have a one-to-one strategic session with you. And what does that mean for the students is that they can come to you on a private session and say like, here is my situation, here's where I am, and here's where I want to become. And that's what my portfolio looks like, that's what my Instagram, and you can help them to pinpoint these growth points that for them will bring the maximum results, where
Absolutely.
they need to be focusing.
Absolutely. So in general, like if we talk about the course, it's very comprehensive on itself. And I think it covers very important topics like marketing, like understanding how to rebuild different aspects of your promo materials, including the questionnaires, the price lists, the websites, or like rebuilding your Instagram. We also talk about how to correctly communicate with models on the set, or how to correctly and effectively build the networking relationships with other vendors, for example, wedding planners. And this is so crucial because your game changes extremely when you start to work with wedding planners, because it's like one time effort that makes a huge difference for a long game, where they start to like you and they start to trust you, and they literally draw clients your way. So yeah, we talk about it in the course, but then of course we'll have this exclusive package with, I think we'll have limited spots because unfortunately I don't have much time for mentorship, but we will have a certain amount of slots allocated for one-to-one sessions where we'll chat with the photographer about how he feels and what he or she wants to achieve. And I will try to share my experience, what would be effective and what would be a waste of money. And I have to admit that these guys, I wasted so much money on incorrectly made ads on Instagram, on incorrectly invested funds, and I don't know, like even wedding fairs or wrong workshops. All of that happened to me. So I have this huge experience of what not to do and what worked for me. So this is how it will work with mentorship.
Exactly. It's important also to understand that what brought you here will not bring you to the next level, right? So what brought them to being fully booked right now with a low paid gig or like just average mid-market will not bring you to the top of the mind photographer for celebrities, or top of the mind destination photography specialist for example, for like top industry specialists, right? For the tops.
And of course, we need to say that there is nothing wrong of working in the medium segment. We totally love those weddings, and we love the couples, and we love the photographers. It's just that, I don't know, my personal feeling is that if you can be the best, you should try to be the best. And my internal goal is to be the photographer that when they say wedding photographer, they think of me. You know, just in general. Like, for example, I think we can like call names. For example, Hasavia is one of those who you just like when they say wedding photographer, like the pictures of Hasavia, or for example, Batega 53, yes, or Danila and Sharon, like the top players in the field. And my plan is to be one of those.
Exactly. And you're already one of those because people choose you for your name. Diana is very shy, but we should mention also some credentials that you've been already published by top editorials in the wedding industry, and you're actually top of the list for the most luxurious villages and weddings in Europe. What we are discussing is actually it's actually about positioning, right? Like how to position yourself in the head of your ideal client, in the head of the segment you want to target. So they call your name, so they choose you because this is Diana Vartanova, this is the photographer.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand that you're not coming to a wedding as a service person, because yes, you are, but at the same time you're coming as an artist, and that's extremely important. And as an artist, you have your own judgment of what is important to be covered and what is important to be photographed. And sometimes you even have to say, no guys, I don't think it's a good idea to do that, but you have to know why, and you have to be persuasive but not rude. So it's I think it comes with experience and with internal trust that you are capable of delivering result, and you don't have to listen to everything you hear or everything you're being told to, because you already know that you're talented and you're doing great. And then when they say, okay, if we're not doing that, what are we doing? And you show, like, you take a picture and show them, and they melt, because this is something beyond their expectations. It's something outstanding. This is what we should aim for as wedding photographers.
Exactly. This brings up the word in my mind that is often now overused, that's often misunderstood, and the word is authenticity. What you're talking about has to do with authenticity, has
Absolutely.
to be with the approach of the photographer, because couples, they are booking these amazing venues, but it's not their job to estimate what are the best shots
Absolutely.
to be done in there. It's not their jobs to estimate how I should allocate and how I should time the session, what is the angle, what is the position. And the authenticity is the actual professional approach that photographer brings to the table as the value.
Yeah, that's true. And so when I started, I was very anxious that somebody got the booking, not me. And I thought, it's because something is wrong with me. It's because something is wrong with my portfolio or my online presence. And I was right in some moments. But as I grow up and as I secured incredible weddings, I understood that being authentic is more important than securing every wedding in the world, which is obviously impossible. And working closely, especially second shooting with my amazing colleagues, amazingly talented photographers with a completely different approach, I understood that it's perfect, because I would do it completely different. And this is what makes different couples choose different photographers. For example, you talked about timing and allocation and, I don't know, just a take on photography during the wedding day. One photographer in the same circumstances would create a completely different gallery than the other one. And this is what we see during the workshops we organize with Sparkling Moments. We have 10, 15 photographers on the set, and then we receive 15 different galleries. Like, shot almost during the same like minute. This is inspiring, and this is a great reminder that no matter what others are doing, trust yourself, but build this trust on deep understanding why you're doing that.
Right. Thank you so much. This is very, very important to understand. And I think this is something that does separate the top 1% from the average, is your exact vision, your exact professional approach. And you mentioned something important. That during the same shot, during the same day, during the same moment, people take completely different shots. Does it have to do more with how people see or with their professionalism?
It depends. If we're talking about talented and professional photographers, I think it's about how they see it. And there are so many ways of using your camera. You can shoot in low key, in high key. You can use different lenses. You can use, I don't know, even like little prisms to play with the light. You can choose the angles. You can do like the silhouette or the very bright portrait. There are so many ways of how to deliver what you see. And of course, if we're talking about someone less experienced, it's about trying to, I think if you feel not confident enough to deliver your own vision, it's okay to follow someone you can trust and someone whose work admire you. And when you're just starting, my suggestion would be to build like a number of techniques that you can apply and just see what works best for you in terms of what depicts your personality and your vision of the moment better than the other ones. And this is how you will start to build your own style and your own approach.
Let's talk about style. Style is important, and each of photographers has his own style, but styles and trends, they come and go. There is also something called timeless photography. There is also something that is called taste of a couple. And how do you combine all these four notions into the vision?
I actually remember a very funny story. I was a newbie to photography. It was one of the workshops of a very famous photographer. I don't want to call names there. And he acted, to my mind, completely arrogant and rude. And it was a bit disappointment because all of us, we came to meet him to get inspired to see his vision of photography. And then he had this Q&A session where everything like got super clear to me personally. And he was asked, what are the upcoming trends of the editing styles? And he said, my editing will be in the trend. And guess what, guys? He's like on the outskirts of business now. He's like, nobody even remembers him anymore. So it was like 6 years ago. And to me, it felt so self-confident, but I think he only replied it in that way because he didn't have the clear understanding of what's happening and what's going to be, and he didn't even have this power to admit it. So talking about trends, it's impossible to predict them. For example, yesterday, brides announced the new color of the year, and I don't know, like, what color do you imagine?
I don't know, pink.
Okay, it's orange. So, you know, it's a gamble, right? You don't know what happens next year. And I think being timeless is not about pursuing a certain, like, trying to guess what's going to happen, but it's about being professional, reliable, trustworthy, be like the person the couples would want to come back just to catch up for a coffee, even, you know, if they never got divorced and they don't want another wedding photo shoot. No, I'm joking. I hope that doesn't happen. Yes. So it's about being the person who is comfortable to be around with, while being an extreme professional who will deliver the results that one couldn't dream about.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I know I try to reply as vast, but of course we're limited in time, and we cover this topic like it's a 40-minute lesson we have in our course from Pro to Top. So if you guys want to learn about that more, just join our course.
Let's discuss your course. Finally, the moment has arrived. Diana has never launched her online education. 10 years in the industry, and we finally are about to see it, right? You are creating your own course, and this is going to be a course on marketing, positioning, branding, selling yourself as a lead photographer. Can you tell me more about the course? Who is it for, and what people can expect from it?
Being honest, I'm building my confidence as a public speaker and as a mentor, and I'm still trying to, feel comfortable. I'm not the kind of person who does give advice without being asked for it. So, it's not supernatural for me, but we've been working on this course for the last year, and honestly, like I told you, I studied journalism, but this was like way more difficult. I don't know. It's like one of the most complicated and challenging things I've ever done, because it's so difficult to organize your thoughts, especially like in such a vast topic as soft skills in wedding photography. There are so many things I wanted to talk about, and at the same time not to be too watery or be helpful and relevant. So it was a challenging but extremely interesting task, and it's about to come live in the next weeks. We're very excited. At some point I was so tired of all the processes. I was exhausted from post-production, from combining what like the phrases that appear on the screen. I was involved in all the parts of it, but when I finally saw the results, I can say I'm very proud of myself. I have to admit it. And I do believe it's very helpful. It's made for those who already feel that they know how to use the camera, but they still feel that they don't know what's the next step. And we uncover topics like rebuilding your Instagram, or how to make the first impression when you meet the planner, or how to act when the bride is anxious. So something very practical, but at the same time something like so emotionally complicated that it can be viewed from different points. And I'm happy to share my point of view.
So in one place, you have collected this decade of knowledge, experience, mistakes, wasted money, and you collected the instruments and tools that work right now, that are relevant right now. And these subtle things about communications, these subtle things that normally slip from the attention of the person. It's something that the reasons why you're not getting booked, why...
You're right. I'm sorry for interrupting. I want to talk about
energy about the course.
It's about why someone is being booked, but not me, in a way. And how to act to make your couple or the planner or the wedding vendor want to refer you, to book you, and to work with you. Yes, it's working right now, but the most complicated task was to make it timeless. We're not talking about like trends in behavior. We are talking about the deep understanding of how to be a genuine but at the same time professional photographer who will become successful. That's why it's called from a pro photographer to a top photographer. And this is what actually is in it.
This is the course about how to become a top 1% of the industry professionals, and we need to understand that the top one from the other 99 separates. It's not the technical knowledge, It's not something that you do with your camera. It's actually how do you deliver, how do you communicate, how do you provide this beautifully wrapped Chanel experience as a photographer,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, absolutely. We talk about different parts of this journey, and I tried to make this course as comprehensive and cover the aspects from like the first impression to submission of the galleries to the blogs, like basically the journey, wave shaped, I don't know why, let it be wave shaped, to the success.
To the success, straight to the success, from current stage into the multiple six-figure business. Because let's be honest, there are exact steps that the person, the photographer, needs to take on a consistent basis, create a system of actions that drives him to the result.
Absolutely. We have to admit there that wedding photography is one of the most financially appealing within different genres of photography. If you follow the steps that we've created for you in our course, I'm sure you will receive the amazing results just in a very short amount of time without wasting those precious hours, weeks, and years on trying to find the right path.
Let's discuss for whom the course is. You mentioned that for someone that needs to tweak those little things about their marketing. So it could be also the person that starts the journey in a wedding photography and needs a fast entry, for example, right? It could be also a person that is already a full-time photographer, but wants to elevate the skills and entry, for example, a premium segment. And it could be a person that wants just to systemize everything and break into the 100K business, break into the new level and establish his name, establish his brand on this 1% top professionals.
Absolutely. Yes, you're right. And it feels like you already watched the course.
I did, just a little bit.
Yes. And I mean, it is very helpful for those who are just starting their career and you guys don't want to waste time on trying it yourself. And for those who already know a lot but feel stuck, feel somewhere like in between roads and trying to choose what to do. For example, if you have a certain amount of money you want to invest in, I don't know, portfolio or marketing or, I don't know, education. We talk about it. We help you to choose the right path.
Amazing. And for the people that are following your journey or people that already visited your workshops and want to desperately join and understand like how they can enter and know more about the course, we also want to greet them. We also want to treat them well. Did you prepare something special today?
Yes. So in this course, it's actually me talking for quite a few hours of my experience and revealing the stories I've never told, revealing the experiences, frustrating experiences sometimes, or moments of success and the way of how those have been achieved. So yes, it's very true, very sincere. I actually criticize my own Instagram, and I think that's very exciting. And then we have like a bonus editing lesson. So there are lots of things that you can discover in the course, but I'm sure you guys would want to just scroll down, find the link and just check it yourself, because it's not the product, it's the experience that I'm proud of sharing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Before we wrap up, how people can get to know you, the new people that see you for the first time or the ones that already have been following you for years, how can they learn more about the course?
So if you guys want to scroll down and find my Instagram. It's called Still Miracle. The course is going to be released with Vedmi School. Proud to say that. Well done, guys. What should I say? Follow us, support us, and join us on our offline meetings and conferences that we're starting to do too.
Oh my God, this is a little teaser.
Yes, it's a teaser. It's a teaser.
It's a little teaser.
I can't keep my mouth shut.
Oh my God. So thank you so much for joining us today. Dana, I'm so excited to learn more about your journey in our next episode, in our next podcast. And I'm pretty sure that today, each of us, we've learned a wealth of knowledge, and we'll be bringing all the links into the description. And stay tuned.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.